Well, hello to everyone out there for our next session of these games at World Bowls Indoor Championships 2024 edition. So this time we have from Ireland Simon Martin, and from Australia Ray Pearse, or Razor as he's called. So first end, they've just had their trial ends, so they're just getting going now. And we'll get into it. So nice start to the end. I'm just behind by Ray.
Start a bowl in between.
Yeah, that's FWI, so that's Switzerland. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying that.
So chance for Razor to make more. Definitely one. Not sure about the second, which is just behind Jack-Eye, but if you can get behind the Jack-Eye one, inside the Jack-Eye one on the right. Good line, but just drifting a yard over. One conceded so far. Two conceded.
No.
So 2 to Australia. So heading through the day here at the Indoor Bowls Club in Guernsey. Sessions been going all day since 8:30 this morning. A rolling programme. As soon as your game finishes, or the previous game finishes, you're straight on. We've got 30 countries and 60 players, including the players from Guernsey. So a good turnout. It's from all over the place. So we've got from Spain, South Africa, we've got Turkey, so European nations, but we've got, as you see here playing now, Australia, New Zealand, Norfolk Island. So some far-flung places for us. Last year we had the same in Australia, so for them it was a short commute, but for us in Europe, UK, it was a much longer trek for us. So they're sort of finding out or getting a reminder of the sort of travel that we've got to do as well. So it's truly international. And that's a good adjustment. Similar from Razor. He can afford to just reach to disturb it. Any movement is helpful for him. Oh, that's a good try. Cracking weight for the job. Makes it awkward for Simon Martin.
Last bowl, full bowl, short.
So, wasn't quite sure what the weight was down the other end. It's always difficult from 30 metres away to see if something is 1 inch short or 3 inches short. That's what the markers are there for, help you out. Well, very useful from Simon. Almost, I mean, obviously Razor wants to get a shot, Simon doesn't want to drop shot, but even if Ray does get shot, then with that backward, gives him an option somewhere. So sticking with that backhand, anything up to it is useful, and ever so close. Contact wise, fraction wider, caught the outside of his wood, fraction tighter, get inside it, but pretty much the one of the only ways he could have not got shot playing that, so a bit unlucky in the target area, and made it not easy, but ever so slightly easier for Simon to get another one in. Yeah, said it wasn't easy. Overplayed it slightly, but it was always a tall order to get in. So that's 2-1 to Australia. Pretty tight start. Let's see what his preferred length is. So he sent the jack a bit further.
on there as well.
How old is your baby?
18 months. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
So you can see the jack's
Down to man.
closer to the tee, about 4 feet.
Yeah.
18 inches over for Simon Martin to start.
It's about 2 feet.
Simon normally plays with the Drakes.
Funny enough, it's about 2 feet short. Yeah.
So Marcus saying both woods are pretty much 2 feet short. So Simon Martin, he uses Drake's Pride size 3 or 4, depends what the surface is. If it, you know, for example, outdoors you might get wetter hands, so you use slightly smaller. I know he wasn't quite sure what to use. I think he talked about using a fine line. I think he ended up using a Drake's Pride Professional. And Razor, he normally uses a an Aero, and I think for this one he's got a groove, Aero groove. It'll be size 4 as well. I say so. I assume as well because I assume Simon's using a 4.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a 3 down, yes.
So another good one from Simon. Put the pressure on.
Your last bowl, about a yard.
Well, he's managed to cut out the back one, but slap on the thigh. He's not happy with that. 3 short bowls. He'll know he could do better. So it's just got to be a draw for Simon. Razor's got nothing behind, so nothing to cover. Pinched it very slightly. Not sure if he was just trying to make sure he was under the line, not to leave a rest. And it also didn't matter too much if he moved the jack around the corner a little bit, possibly made it more difficult as well. At the moment, yeah, he's still got to get close, but it is a open draw down to the jack. I'm not quite sure that's there. It looks, yeah, it's struggling a bit. He turned the woods turned it a couple of woods, so he's probably to the 2 shot woods, but still a little bit under that weight. So, not sure if that noise came through. It's noisy outside our broom cupboard. They seem to be enjoying themselves, which is always good. Good crowd here. Many of them actually preferring to be upstairs on the balcony where you get a good view over the rinks.
I'd say closer to 4 feet, but yeah.
And Simon's played that one well. Back toucher. Now I don't know if these players have played each other, but they're both very experienced. So even if they haven't played each other, they would probably know about each other's games. That's a really solid start from Simon. Some of the Aussies have got a really big drive, but I don't know about Razor, what his preferred game is, draw drive, what his strengths are. I mean, it's a perfectly valid shot just to be drawn to that. No problem with that call at all. So is he going to draw? Is he going to play quicker? Yeah, he's playing quicker. Oh, cracking shot. Took his back one off, but he moved through. But looks, yeah, he's got one in the ditch. They haven't respotted it, so it stayed on. So So his toucher was the counter. Markers indicating 1.
Keep doing your tiny thing.
So good contact, good shot. I said I didn't know if he liked to play weight. Well, he may not like to, but he can. We know that. So we'll give a quick tour across the rinks. I'll try again. I'll give a quick tour across the rinks. So we've got rink 1. It's Jersey against Malaysia. So Jersey 0, Malaysia 3. This rink 2, Ireland 4, Australia 3. And on rink 3, just got somebody standing in the way. 2 Sweden. In fact, 2 Switzerland, sorry, and 0-2 Sweden. Rink 4, Spain and South Africa just started, so no score there yet. They're just playing their first end still. Next rink along, we have Isle of Man against Hungary, 3-all. And then we have Singapore against Turkey. See the flags? My position, we just get people walking through. And Singapore are 6-2 up on Turkey. So back to our game here. So on his own length, Razor's got 2 there. But Simon's just got 1 in.
Close, but I fancy you could be 1 down, but it is very close.
There you go. Marker's nice and clear, close, but fancy 1 down. And that's the thing, it's always the marker's opinion. They may be right, they may be wrong, but it's their opinion. There are some markers that are very good where you go, absolutely, I know if he says it's 1 down, it's going to be 1 down. And that doesn't matter now because he's moved it. So, probably 3. Saves on that measure.
Sure, just about 8 inches or something. Yeah.
Well, Razor is fairly fit. He does like cycling. He also likes poker. So I presume on this one he'd back himself. As a lot of the players out there would back themselves. You're here to sort of try your best. Got to be confident you're going to win. Not quite there from Simon this time. He's more of a family man. Stay at home with the family. But he does like watching football, and of course, when he's got time, or the other way around, when he's not playing bowls, because that's what would probably take his time. Then he's doing the other things. Just left the door open slightly still. Simon's got to do it, but he has got he's got room to get in. if you are on Ireland, I would say come down and watch. It's always good to see these top players play live. There is a you can get refreshments upstairs, whether it's an orange juice or something else from the bar. Plenty of players around, see them in the flesh. This bowl hasn't fallen down. If it had fallen down, make a big difference. Will they wait 30 seconds for it? You got to ask if you don't ask. So that's a single to Australia. So that ties it up at 4-all. And the live scoring is a fraction behind us on that, so when it updates through the World Wide Web, it will say 4-all on 5 ends. It's only about 2 computers away, but it's I'm thinking it's having a nap. I'm not sure Simon looked too happy with that, but it's only 18 inches 2 feet behind. It's a good enough start. So 1 to 1.
Foot and a half through.
Foot and a half. 18 inches. That was close enough. Thank you, Mr. Marker, for confirming that. So marker today is Gary Collins. Something just distracted him. Might have been Switzerland walking down slightly wide on his rink, but still on his own rink, so no problem. And you get that sometimes with the players. Just step back, restart. Well, he didn't need to adjust much from the last one, and fortunately he didn't adjust at all.
Oh, your last one. No, that one. That.
And the World Wide Web has caught up with us. So now showing 4-all. So that's good weight. Just pinch the green a bit. There is a nice swing on this green. It's nice and consistent. Still over pushed that one a fraction. Made it difficult for himself. So sensibly going around the back. It's a decision for him there because draws another one in, leaves a route for Simon to move the jack back. So all he had to do was be up to it and to have a chance. So that helps. As it is, Simon's got a free draw. If he happens to move it a few inches, he might make 2. I don't see him playing for the 2 woods, but it is a slight possibility. But I think I'd favour the draw. Get yourself shot, and if you happen to move it for 2, well, that's all good. So he's lining up for the backhand. And draw a line there. Well, from this angle, can't tell. And nor can they. Calling the umpire on. And that's Alan Thornhill. As they all are. Some of the best in the world. That's why they are the next step up in the umpire qualification. But this man here, he's the one who actually trains the rest of them. So I think that shows what his pedigree is. So it's great to be able to host these events and have these top officials, not just the top players, come to them. And we've had Razor's fan club on YouTube, so you do have support out there. And I'm sure Simon's got his fan club watching as well.
Cap current talk. 3 mil.
Any gap about 3 mil. You can get 4 bowls inside that, Simon. Yeah, pause from Gary. So the bowl was seemed to be just falling, but took its time to fall. In fact, didn't fall, but he seemed to take his time as if it was going to fall.
It's only 3 mil. It's very not a lot. Red one. That's fine. Red.
And of course, any touch is a good bowl, but if you touch either side, just makes a slightly bigger target. If you're on the back of it, means your opposition can get a toucher. If you're on the front of it like that, it's much more difficult to get a toucher. they're more likely to play your
So
wood.
was that under 2 yards?
So it's a marginal advantage that they're not going to get, or less likely to get a toucher out of it. So he asked where the tee was, or how short it was from the tee. So that wood is near enough right on the tee. So he's gone behind. So that would have been intentional.
No, you're free to visit.
So normally you only come up after your third bowl, but at key points you can ask to visit, and often the marker will allow it. I have seen them turn it down because there was just clearly nothing to look at. But on this one, there is something to look at. Is the jack going to stay in or out if it gets hit very hard? So does Razor need to cover the spot, try and get even closer to the spot? Does he try and cover towards a corner? So you can see Razor's at the back, don't quite know where that jack's going to go. It'll go back towards the marker's feet, I would say. So somewhere between the tee and the ditch. So you can see he's getting towards the marker's feet. So Simon's, yep, he's going to run at that. And he's got it clean. Well, we knew it was 3 millimeters away, so I wouldn't have expected that to move without the jack, but he's got it, and he's now holding 2. So he's got himself in a position holding set. Well, that was an interesting shot. Not everyone would have played that. He had a bit of room to draw it. It's the old story. If it goes for you, you look a hero. If you miss it, you look a bit silly. But even if he drew it, it still meant Simon had chance to play his wood off for the set. But at the end of the day, it would have forced Simon to play the shot. But if he got the jack in the ditch, he would have been holding his 1. Simon almost no chance, and he would have looked a hero. Just the jack's a small target. He might have taken the 2 off. So that's the first set to Ireland, and it's the winner of the first set who takes the mat in the second one.
Where's that off the tee, mate? About 2 feet.
So how far was that off the tee, House, the marker? A couple of feet? So we'll go across the board. What have we got across the board? On rink 1, we have Jersey. Just not quite getting there. Malaysia seem to be all over it. So that's 9-2 to Malaysia. Rink 2, as we saw, Ireland just pipped that set 7-5. Rink 3, Switzerland 3-2 up on Sweden after 5 ends. A really tight game. On rink 4, Spain. We are there, South Africa. So Spain, South Africa, Spain 5-1 up. On rink 5, Isle of Man 4, Hungary 7. So that's the first set over just there. And the far end, they've finished a previous game and they're literally they're just tossing it up for trial ends. So no score on that final one. So that was ever so close by Razor. A few bowls tight. Might have just cost him. He's experienced enough, even though he lost the first set. He'll settle down, get going again. South Africa appreciating that one over on rink 4. So definitely number 1 for Ireland. Maybe 2. But Australia do have the respot, but will, if he hits those 2, it might move the jack. Will it go onto his backward? From this angle, our favourite would miss. So it's a delicate draw for 2 or 1 if he doesn't move the jack, or much more weight. He's going a lot of weight. He's opened it up. So the jack stayed on at the back. He's taken 1 out. See if I can move that camera for you as well. When it stops. There you go. So move the camera down for you. So they've taken 1 out so far. Measure for the next ones. Next one. So I think that's 2. So there was a slight pause, just getting refreshments, I think. Razor's back on the ring, so it's good to see the colour, the flag's up. There's a crowd more this end, but you can see there's upstairs as well. So that's the far end, but they're watching above us. So we'll take you back to the game now. So the wood's a couple of feet down, but Simon's got fairly swingy woods. The Drake's Pride pros, professionals. So he's confident he's going to draw around it. From my angle, I'd be probably changing it. But he's obviously confident, and maybe he just prefers that hand.
Last one up. Some wood to you. Come off.
Pick it up, pick it up.
Yeah, okay. No more.
No, out.
So we've just moved that camera down a fraction just to let you get a better view of those. So there is, although the woods are just behind, they still might be coming into play.
Yeah, I know. It's a bit weird. And often the way both players, they just both go off, and it's just like, you know, weird.
Come back.
Well, he'd be disappointed with that. Not only was he a bit off, a bit tight, and probably a bit heavy. He's turned the wood up enough. But the fact that he did get down to that wood is even worse. So the marker fancied 1 before, maybe fancies 2.
How short's last ball, please? Yep.
between the front two.
These two?
Zit er offline daar nog? Was er zit er offline nog de laatste?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, just yeah, true.
Thank you.
Or we get short if we don't do that.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I know there was an extra.
You never know.
Sometimes it's tight. Right, balls lifted. Are they in line? No, the 2 feet. Well,
Ja. I know myself. Wonder it.
Position, please. One.
So we've just got the ticker going. You can see across the rinks latest scores as the games are going on. If there's a country you're interested in. So hope you could find your own country or your favourite country in that ticker. Meanwhile, nice solid head, all just over, nothing much, but the last one certainly made the difference. So 2 to Australia there. That's certainly put a bit more pressure on Simon. He's just taking his time with Switzerland out towards the end of his rink. Marginally overplayed it. I mean, when your woods are 18 inches through, you pretty much don't adjust very much because you don't want to take too much off. So you're almost playing the same, but unfortunately for him, he did play the same. So chance for Razor to open up a gap in this set. Holding 2, chance for 3. And on that backhand, the way the woods are sat, just gives him a slightly better rest if he is just over. Oh, he'd be a bit disappointed with that. Only 2. That was a free draw. We know we're not going to get it every time, but we always say if you're giving yourself that much, you're confident of getting it in there.
Position, please. Two. And it's the front one. What is it? Just 3 inches or something?
Yeah, it's about 3 inches.
So Simon just taking his time waiting for Switzerland. For how close the bowls get to each other if you're playing opposite somebody coming against you on the other rink. Sometimes the woods do get close, but it's not very often that they actually hit each other. Although, funny enough, we did have one earlier on today. First time I've seen one at these championships. That's a good adjustment for Razor. You'd expect Simon to get closer than he is. Or than his first one, shall I say. So definitely closer, but not quite enough.
Yep.
And my last bowl, please. Your last bowl is a couple of bowls to you.
Played it well again.
Sorry, did that back one touch? Did you say no? It's through. On the D.
So Simon killing that one, as we know from the rules. It goes back on the centre respot. Just clearing up a bit of debris from the back. Now got a load of woods on the bank. it's definitely a good hit from Simon. Left himself with 2, put the pressure on Razor. And he's done it again.
Right, one more.
Certain Julie Forrest just walked past. Household name many times, champion in various events.
There's last one.
Looks like he's going to. He's lining up to hit it again. This one's going to go quick. Well, good effort. Bit of a gap on the forehand. Slightly more of a gap with the forehand with it bending. It would have been slightly less gap on the backhand. But if you're going to play that, you've got to play what you prefer. He obviously prefers the forehand for a runner. So that'll be another one to Australia. That's 5-1 to Australia after 4 ends. So we'll give you a little shout out across the rinks. Rink 1. So Malaysia took that first set and they are 2. So they 1 set up and they're 2-0 up in the second set against Jersey. On rink 3, Switzerland against Sweden. Switzerland took the first set and Sweden are 1-0 up in the next one. Spain took the first set against South Africa and they just started the next end, so Spain took that one. Hungary took the first set against Isle of Man, but Isle of Man are 5-2 up in the next one. And over on rink 6, Malaysia are 2-0 up after 2 ends on Scotland, not Julie Forrest.
Yes.
So a couple of crackers there from Simon. Looks like Razor was just trying to disturb it slightly, but he certainly stayed on, so he's got the tee, so it does give him another option for the last one. So we've had a few shout outs from around the globe watching us today, so it's good to see people tuning in. And there is comment about what Simon's using. discussed whether to change to a slightly tighter bowl, but decided that they felt the green wasn't quick enough, so they stayed with Drake's Professional. Everyone prefers different ones. Some go really tight, some go wide. I do know Ali Merrian uses the fine line here, so I always say if it's good enough for her, then it's got to be good enough for me. And there's even a shout out from Sophie Martin. Come on, Dad. So the family's watching. I mean, the green is a kind rink. It will let you play those shots, but it's still a hard shot to play. Just trying to move the jack a couple of feet. Spring in the bowl. You think from the forehand, you can't really give shot away. You'd have to be quite heavy to play the outside wood.
Sorry, the jack too.
Just tracking a bit. He was trying to draw that. So 2 puts him back into the set. For Simon from Ireland, he just needs a 2 over the last 2 ends to tie to win the game. Obviously, he'd like to win the set. All sets count at the end of the day. Wins first, but if you happen to be tied with somebody else on wins because you lose to various people or one person each, then every set counts. So they want to win the set, not just tie it.
All the balls are in front of the jack, is that right?
Up to the front. Up to the front. I'm off it, I believe. 2.
So Simon just waiting for Switzerland to bowl and come through.
What's the situation? 2 down.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. You're 1 up.
2 feet, just under 2 feet. Tap that through. Yeah.
So nice, clear guidance from the marker. Getting a few questions, but nice, concise answers. Just overcorrected there, or just pushed it through a bit.
Just under 2 feet.
Yeah.
His weight was probably good enough to count, but he's just preached it a bit there.
Yeah, he told me that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Come here.
Come here.
So he's going forehand. Has he pushed that too much? That looks similar to the other ones, maybe even a bit more. Similar to the other ones. He'll be disappointed with that.
Could be, not a lot in it.
Not a lot in it, but if he draws another one, that's 2 for sure. 2 certainly makes it difficult for Simon.
Yeah.
So umpire, they're not short.
Just between the red and the blue. Take these away.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Jackie, some room. Difficult to tell the bowl. That's always the bowl there. Yeah.
Weird angle that bowl's on. So it could be. Yeah.
Two.
2, so 7-3 to Australia. So it's still possible for Ireland here, but 4 needed to tie that set. So Simon not wanted to be short, but overplayed it. Soon find out if he's trying to still get 4 out of the set. If he just puts it in the same place, or if he adjusts. So Simon clearly giving up on that set, just preparing for the tiebreak, ignoring his backward and just trying to get his draw ready for that extra end. And if it was difficult enough before, it's even more difficult now. Well, I think Razor said he'll be back in a minute. Give Simon time to get up and down and play his bowl. So 1 to Australia. So that's 8-3 into the tiebreak. Even that last one where Simon didn't have much room, still sensible. Keep your draw. Knows one shot here or there is not going to make the difference. The set was gone anyway, but if he can keep his draw going, he's got a better chance in the tiebreak. So as per the tie breaks at World Bowls Indoor Championships, this is one end shootout.
Yeah, that's right.
Not sure who won that toss, but more often the players do give it away, so I would presume that Australia won it and gave it away, but that's not a guarantee. See the marker just moving up a bit there. Next door firing, so it was just in case the jack was going to come his way, protecting his own head. Very good mark in that.
Yeah, the last ball's about that.
You're holding
to
the
you.
shot, this one. What's the gap between that, Papa? And yours, yeah, the jack. 12 inches. 12 inches, 12 inches through.
Nobody's quite nailed it here.
Yeah, definitely won. Close on a second, but you definitely won.
Advantage to Simon. The fact you're holding. But he's still, he would still like to have one a bit closer, I'm sure. And Razors at the front has just made the weighted shot more difficult for himself as well.
Yeah. 2 feet.
Still coming forehand, looking to slip inside the Irish one. Oh, that looks a little bit wide for it. So ended up sticking out a bit. So Simon, which do you cover? Do you nail it or do you go behind? Either shot. Your opposition's got a shot on, so what do you think he's got most chance of getting? From here it looks difficult to play the weighted shot, so you almost think he's pretty much drawn it, maybe just arriving with a couple of feet. So Simon covering.
Now the red ball. Last ball. Now that one. Yeah.
I would have thought he wanted to be a bit further.
Like that.
The only thing that covers is if he plays,
Yeah.
well, either forehand or backhand and clips the jack down that corner. So Australia have the spots if he can manage to kill it. He's got a couple of feet behind. And he's if he can dead draw, he's right there as well. I'd fancy he's only going to play a little bit of weight or a draw. He's not going to go any more than that. So softly, looking to draw it. feathered off the front one, board him up, and that was enough to win it. So a win for Australia on the tie break. Good close game though. 7-5 to Ireland first set, 8-3 to Australia second set, and then a little feather off the front wood to take it at the end. So thanks for joining us for this coverage of the 2024 World Bowls Indoor Championships, and look out for our next stream. We'll be back shortly.